clock above the front counter read 11:47 p.m. The McDonald's on Route 9 was almost empty. It was a cold Tuesday night in November, and the last real customer had left an hour ago. The parking lot outside was dark and wet from the rain. The yellow arches glowed against the black sky like two tired eyes. Ray wiped down the counter for the third time. He was a big man with a gray beard and slow eyes. He had closed this restaurant hundreds of times. He knew the sound of every machine, every door, every light switch. This place was like his second home, maybe his first if he was being honest. "Dana, you almost done with the fry station?" he called toward the back. Dana stepped out from the kitchen. She had flour on her sleeve and a nervous smile on her face. "Almost. The oil is still draining." "Take your time. We don't leave until it's done right." Hector walked in from the side door, shaking rain off his jacket. He was a large man with a shaved head and a calm face that never looked worried about anything. He carried a small flashlight and a radio on his belt. "Back parking lot is clear," he said. "One car out front, but it's been there since 9. Probably someone from the apartments next door." Ray nodded. "Good. I want us out by 12:30. Everything felt normal. Everything felt quiet. Then the front door opened. A man walked in. He was tall and thin, wearing a long, dark coat that was soaking wet. His hair was flat against his forehead from the rain. He moved slowly like he had all the time in the world, and he did not look around the way most people do when they enter a place. He just walked straight to the counter and stood there. Ray looked up. "Sorry, sir. We're closed. Kitchen is shut down." The man looked at the menu board above Ray's head. He read it slowly like he was reading a book. "I just want a burger," the man said. His voice was low and flat, not angry, not rude, just empty. "I understand, but we've already shut everything down. The grills are off. I can't—" "I'll wait," the man said. He sat down at the table closest to the counter. He placed his hands flat on the table. He looked straight ahead. Ray and Hector exchanged a look. "Sir, we really are closed," Hector said, stepping forward. The man turned his head and looked at Hector, just looked at him. Hector stopped walking. He didn't say anything else. He just stopped, like something inside him hit a wall. That was the first strange moment. Hector never stopped for anyone. Ray kept his voice calm. "Let me see what I can do." He walked to the back and found Dana finishing up near the grill. "Do we have any leftover patties? Anything cooked?" he asked quietly. Dana frowned. "I put the last ones away. I can heat something up," but she paused. "Who are you asking for?" "A customer. Walked in late. He's not leaving." Dana looked past Ray toward the front. Through the small window above the prep station, she could just barely see the man sitting at the table. He had not moved. His hands were still flat on the surface. He was still staring straight ahead. "That's weird," she whispered. "Just heat something up," Ray said. "Faster we feed him, faster he leaves." Dana nodded and turned back to the grill. Ray walked back out front. The man was still sitting in the same position. "We're getting you something," Ray said. The man did not respond. He did not nod. He did not say thank you. He just sat there, perfectly still, like a statue someone had left in a fast food restaurant. Dana was alone in the kitchen. She had put a patty on the grill and was waiting for it to heat through. The kitchen was bright under the white lights, but it felt smaller than usual. She turned to grab a bun from the rack behind her. That's when she heard it, a sound coming from the walk-in freezer at the back of the kitchen. A slow, low sound, like something shifting, like something heavy being dragged across the floor. Dana froze. She stood very still and listened. The grill sizzled quietly. The fans hummed. And then, silence. Nothing. "You're imagining things," she told herself. She turned back to the grill. The patty was nearly ready. She reached for the spatula. The sound came again. Louder this time. A long, slow scraping sound from inside the freezer, and then a soft knock. One knock, just one. Dana grabbed the spatula so hard her knuckles went white. "Ray?" she called out. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted it to. No answer. She walked to the freezer door slowly. She pressed her ear against the cold metal. She could hear her own heartbeat. She could feel the chill through the door even before she touched the handle. She pulled the handle. The door opened with a heavy click and a rush of cold air hit her face. The freezer was empty, just shelves of frozen boxes and the hum of the cooling unit. Nothing on the floor, nothing moved. Dana let out a long breath. She laughed at herself, just a little. Then she looked down. There were wet footprints on the freezer floor. They led from the back wall to the door, prints from bare feet, wet human footprints, leading out toward her. Dana did not scream. She stepped backward, let the freezer door close, and walked very quickly to the front of the restaurant. "Ray," Dana's voice was tight. "There are footprints in the freezer. Someone was in there." Ray looked at her sharply, then he looked at Hector. Hector already had his radio in his hand. "I'm checking the back." He moved fast toward the kitchen. Ray turned to the customer. "Sir, I'm going to need you to—" The man was gone. The table was empty. The chair was pushed back slightly. There was a small wet puddle on the table where his hands had been resting. That was all. Ray moved to the front door and pushed it open. The parking lot was empty. The rain had stopped. The wet ground reflected the golden arches. There was no one outside, no car pulling away, no figure walking into the dark. Nothing. "He's gone," Ray said to no one. Hector came back from the kitchen. His face, always calm, was different now. Something behind his eyes had shifted. "There's no one in the back," he said slowly. "But Ray..." He stopped. "What?" "The footprints Dana saw, I saw them too. They go from the freezer to the back door." He paused. The back door was locked from the inside, chain lock still on. Nobody came through that door. Nobody left through it either. The three of them stood in silence. Dana spoke first. "So where did they come from?" Nobody answered. Ray walked behind the counter and pulled up the security camera feed on the small screen near the register. He rewound it to 11:47, just before the customer walked in. He watched. The front door opened. The tall man in the dark coat walked in. That part was normal. Ray fast-forwarded to when the man sat down. The man sat at the table, hands flat, staring forward. Ray watched the screen. The man never blinked. Not once. In 11 minutes of footage, the man did not blink a single time. Ray's mouth went dry. He kept watching. Then he saw it. At 11:58 p.m., the camera in the kitchen, the one pointed at the back of the prep area, showed the freezer door opening from the inside. Slowly, a figure stepped out. Tall, thin, dark coat. The same man. He was in the kitchen at the same time he was sitting at the front table. Ray stared at the screen. "That's not possible," he whispered. Dana grabbed his arm. "Ray, what is that?" On the screen, the figure in the kitchen walked to the back door, reached up and placed its hand flat against the door. Then it simply stepped through it. Not through the opening, through the solid door itself, like it was made of smoke. And then it was gone. Hector said nothing for a long time. Then he said very quietly, "We need to leave, right now. We need to leave and we need to call someone." Nobody argued. They grabbed their things and walked out the front door together. Ray locked it behind him. His hands were shaking, but he made sure the lock clicked. They stood in the cold parking lot under the yellow arches. Ray called the police. He didn't know what to say exactly. He said there had been an intruder. He said they had left. The police said they would send a car. The three of them waited outside. Dana looked back through the glass front door of the restaurant. The lights were still on inside. Everything looked normal. The tables were clean. The chairs were straight. The menu board glowed with its usual pictures of burgers and fries. Then she saw it. At the table closest to the counter, the one where the man had been sitting, there was something on the table. Something that had not been there when they left. A receipt. Dana pressed her face close to the glass to read it. It was a McDonald's receipt. Date, November 14th. Time, 11:59 p.m. A single item on the order. One burger, no condiments, no sides. At the bottom of the receipt, where the order number usually printed, there were no numbers. Just a sentence printed in the same small black font as everything else. "I have been waiting a long time." Dana stepped back from the glass. The police arrived 8 minutes later. They searched the building. They found nothing. No signs of a break-in, no one hiding inside, no damage to any door or window. They found the receipt on the table. They had no explanation for it. Ray never went back to that McDonald's. He put in his resignation the next morning, after 15 years. He told people it was time for a change. Dana found a new job within a week. Hector kept working nights, but never at that location again. The McDonald's on Route 9 stayed open. It still does. The day staff never had a single problem. The morning and afternoon shifts ran perfectly every single day. But no one wanted the night shift anymore. And every now and then, when the last customer left and the lights were being turned off, the manager on duty would notice something. A single wet handprint on the table by the counter. Just one. Flat. Still cold. Like someone had been sitting there all along, waiting for their order to come.